Hey, what's up? This is Aruba here. Nikelab ACG SS18 came with a little bit of uncertainty because there were some rumors around the release of AW17 that one would be the last ACG collection that Errolson Hugh of acronym fame would be designing for. And then about 2 weeks ago we saw a new collection come out, the Nike ACG SS18 collection, and all that stuff was very heavily 90s hiker inspired, very retro, going back to the days of old ACG pre-Errolson Hugh, and that really sparked those rumors off again. There wasn't really anything in that collection that suggested Errolson's involvement, and it doesn't really have a particularly strong connection to techwear. However, 1 to 2 days later, Nikelab ACG was unveiled as well, and Errolson's involvement in that confirmed, which put all of those rumors to rest. Anyway, that collection is releasing on the 27th of May, so pretty soon now, and the official product pictures have been out for around a week or so. So I'm going to go through all of those and see what I like, see what I don't like, and just give some of my overall impressions on the collection. Okay, first up is the Gore-Tex Deploy jacket. This is very much the flagship piece from this collection and the equivalent to the Alpine jackets of previous seasons. Strong techwear aesthetic from a design perspective, a lot of asymmetric zips, asymmetric and off-center branding placement. There's a 3D pocket which sticks out on one side of the chest, which is pretty unusual. The design bears some resemblance to the Alpine jacket, but where things get different and where this really breaks away from techwear convention is in the color choices. One of them is this construction site yellowy orange, grey and black mix, and there's this crazy ice cream coloured pink and white version as well. Those colour choices make it pretty unusual and certainly not something that we've really seen in techwear to date, especially that pink version. Even the more monochrome, more reserved black and white version has quite interesting colour blocking in a way that isn't really seen on other jackets. You go back to the white ACG 2-in-1 for example, it looks very different aesthetically to that. Those unfamiliar colour choices and the typically high price of this is coming in at $600, same as the Alpine jackets from previous seasons, that might put some people off. But the Gore-Tex construction, the sling, lots of pocket-based functionality, that main pocket packs away, for example, so you don't have to have that displayed, make it from a technical standpoint a pretty functional piece of kit. The other deploy item in the collection is a pair of shorts with matching color choices to the jacket, so clearly designed to be worn as a little set. The key feature here are the huge 3D pockets that are not dissimilar to the off-center one that you'll find on the jacket. These ones unzip on one side and fold out, giving way to even more storage space. So these things look pretty cool. Again, you've got the ice cream pink, but there's more subdued black and grey options as well, which are a lot more versatile. Personally, I'm feeling the grey ones here. I think the combination of that, the cool grey color they call it, and then there's still some black detailing there with the zips and stuff, I just think that looks pretty nice. Now the variable t-shirt, and an interesting one for ACG in that this actually brings some functionality to the table rather than just graphic prints that they've used in the past. The sleeves can fold away, turning this into a kind of tank top, heavily capped sleeve t-shirt, and it looks like there's little poppers on the edges of the sleeves as well, so you can adjust how open or how closed those sleeves are also. It's cool that they're offering a bit of functionality with these, particularly because of the fairly high price of $75. You want a little bit more for your money rather than just graphic prints. The graphics are fairly plain, fairly understated on this one. They possibly could have got away with more, I think, in that department, but it's cool that they're bringing some functionality nonetheless. There's only one pair of pants this season, down from the usual two, which is the variable pants. These ones have a light taper to them, and they don't have any cargo pockets or anything, so they look quite plain. The only actual piece of functionality or actual bit of detail is around the bottom there's a little cord which you can hook or unhook to kind of crop those and cinch them in. The adjustability side of things is cool and certainly within ACG's ethos, although I just feel like these are a little bit too plain to really be that attractive. I know they had to mix things up a little bit. They've done very similar woven pants and cargo pants for the last few seasons, but I kind of would have preferred a different direction or something a little bit more exciting than this, particularly since these are the only pair of pants this season for men. Now onto some of the women's stuff. Last season's collection was the first one to do female-specific stuff. They brought in Joanna Schneider of Nike fame to do some of that, and clearly it was successful because she's back again doing some more stuff here. And there's actually more women's pieces than men's in this collection. This is the ACG Gore-Tex jacket, which is kind of like a counterpart to the men's deploy jacket, although with some very obvious aesthetic differences. It's very clearly shaped for women. It's got quite a short length and in general a bit more of a feminine cut. I don't think you're just going to look like a woman wearing a man's coat if you wear this, which is definitely a good thing. No pink option here, but there is an all black version. People are definitely going to be annoyed that the only all black jacket here is exclusive for women. I think this is the kind of thing that people have been looking for since the black Alpine jacket came out in FW16. Most interesting feature here is the removable sleeves, which look pretty cool and they give a nice textural break to the arms of the jacket, but potentially a little bit awkward in that if it's raining enough that you want that Gore-Tex material, I think you're really going to want a full length sleeve, because like if any water starts getting in those little gap bits, it's going to be super uncomfortable and annoying. However, it does give you extra flexibility in that you can wear this in warmer weather, whereas you'd have to ditch an ordinary jacket entirely. And if it does suddenly rain in those conditions, the Gore-Tex membrane is going to keep you dry no problem. It will be interesting to see how popular these are and how well they sell out, because aesthetically, I think they look really solid. It's just going to be a case of how big the market actually is for female exclusive techwear stuff. There's also a female variant of the shorts, and in the same way as the jacket, these are clearly a different product and cut pretty differently. They kind of billow out a little bit on the sides, which almost makes it look at a glance a bit like a tennis skirt, and the pockets have a little bit of extra length compared to the rest of the shorts, which at the bottom gives it this cool kind of wavy silhouette. On some of the colors as well, there's a two-tone pocket on one side, which is another difference from the men's version, and I think it's going to make a really nice pairing with the jacket. It's becoming a bit of a theme here that the women's stuff in this collection is more obviously tailored for females rather than just a women's version of a unisex or a men's jacket. It's clearly more of a focus than an afterthought, so I'll be interested to see what the response for this stuff is. The women's cargo pants are much more interesting than the male version. These are kind of shaped like the woven pants from previous seasons, but down both sides they have these super long length pockets going down which kind of split out, and they create these pleats running down the sides of the pants. There's very heavy branding on one side of the leg, which gives it a very strong sportswear-like appearance. I would have preferred something a little bit more subtle than that. I really like the Nike ACG branding on last season's woven pants, for example. But nonetheless, these are pretty cool. They're better than the men's version, I think. Why not just bring out a version for men? ACG normally has a fun accessory or two for each season, and this one is no exception. They've got some arm sleeves here which come in both male and female variants. I'm not seeing too much fashion application for these. These are very clearly designed for activities and athletic type stuff, and it gives you a bit of extra potential warmth and flexibility. Wear these along with a t-shirt and then you kind of get the feeling of having a long sleeve t-shirt, but you can just pull them off if you get too hot. You're certainly paying a bit of a premium on these for ACG branding, but the design of them is quite cool, so if you're a fan of those more athletic styles, or you find yourself doing a lot of physical activities and you need a lot of flexibility, then this could be quite a cool pickup. And because it is a lower price than other stuff, it's a fun little way of getting some ACG stuff without dropping $600 on a jacket. It's a similar story with the leg sleeves. There are both male and female versions, although the men's one comes in an extra pink colour. And I'm beginning to wonder now if that was a bit of a conscious breaking down gender barriers type thing, having exclusive pink stuff for men in this collection. I think these have a little bit more fashion appeal because it's a bit more common to see running tights or leggings or that sort of thing worn in more athletic or futuristic or techwear fits, as opposed to arm sleeves, which I've not really seen anywhere before outside of athletic or running circles. The pattern hails back to FW17 with the Alpine jacket pattern. I think it works pretty well in this scenario, and I think it could be quite cool if you're wearing quite a plain outfit to then break it up with some quite jazzy looking details going down your leg. Although I'm not 100% on the conditions text that's printed on the back, the other concern for me would be in the kind of pant-shoe interaction side of things, because you are, as in these product pics, potentially going to have a bit of a gap between shoe and the leg sleeve. And I would prefer it to be a bit more consistent the whole way down. So I would almost prefer to have additionally seen either some compression socks or leggings in here to help get rid of that little break. Although I do appreciate that from a flexibility standpoint, from this all conditions ethos perspective, the leg sleeve is certainly going to be the most versatile option there. So what do I think about this collection overall? Well, I want to talk about color specifically. They've used a lot of it in this collection. It's clear that they're using color to differentiate and innovate and do things a little bit differently to a lot of other techwear gear on the market. However, I do have to wonder, is the market actually ready for it? I know this is a summer collection, so you don't just want to put out a load of all black things. However, I think things like that ice cream jacket, for example, are just too unusual for a lot of people to want to invest in, because let's face it, $600 is a lot of money. You're going to be wanting to wear something like that a lot, and when something is pink and white, there's a limit to what other products and what other clothing you can match with that. I think this would have been a more wearable collection had they stuck to neon accents and little pops of color and stuff, rather than going all out like that. For example, they could have had a more neutral colored jacket but then had a very bright color on the pocket in a similar fashion to the Stone Island plated reflective jacket, for example. That would have satisfied the requirement of doing things that are a bit interesting and a bit different with color, while still being more acceptable to the market and more versatile and easier to wear. I think the women's selection is really strong here. The jacket, the shorts, the cargo pants, even that sleeveless tee with the cool graphic on the back. Some of those things are certainly going to make some of the male techwear enthusiasts jealous that there isn't a male equivalent. And I think that's testament to Joanna Schneider's work. Techwear traditionally has been a little bit of a boys' club, but there's no inherent reason for that. So I think strong collections like this are hopefully going to attract more women into techwear because they can see things that are specifically designed for them. It's possible that this stuff is a bit ahead of its time. It's possible that there aren't that many women at the moment who are interested in getting invested in this. But I think having some more publicity and some more exposure and simple availability of this kind of product for women is definitely a good thing, and over time, hopefully that's gonna increase the demand for it. I think it'll be interesting to see what sells out fastest if indeed any of this stuff does go super quickly. The deploy jacket, the black and white version specifically, I think has the monochrome color that people get on pretty well with, and in terms of design, I think is really strong as well. And then there's the all black women's version, which has the potential to be very popular, but as I say, I don't know how big the female market for this stuff is at the moment. I think the shorts are pretty spot on. They come in a couple of good colors. That combined with the pants perhaps not being as exciting for men, at least, as we could have hoped for, that might pull more people over to the shorts as well. And then you have the cheaper accessories, which often sell out quite quickly, but the arm and the leg sleeves here, while I think the designs of them are really cool, they're perhaps not as wearable as some of the things like the balaclavas and the hats that have come in previous collections. So it's really anyone's bet which of these things come out more popular, and I'm looking forward to seeing which things people get most excited about picking up. I think it's very cool that the whole collection has that modular and adaptable ethos, and a lot of the pieces in this collection, probably more so than previous ones in fact, do show that adaptable nature very, very clearly. If you created a full ACG outfit from this collection, if you went for the deploy jacket, t-shirt, arm sleeves, pants, just think about all the different options you would have for wearing all of those different things together. You really would be prepared for a lot of different conditions. So in general, there's some cool ideas, innovations and designs here, particularly on the women's side of things. And while a couple of wonky color choices might put some people off, there's a few things in here which, even in terms of color choices, are very solid, and I think it's going to be very hard to fault the adaptability and the features that come with all of these clothes. And that has been everything on the Nikelab ACG SS18 collection. Let me know down there in the comments which of these you're feeling the most. Are you going to be rocking the ice cream cone look this summer or not? If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. I super do appreciate it as always. And that has been everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.